The eastern region, there are, little bit less industries, although there are mineral industries, mining industries, steel industries are there, some machining industries are there. But if you go by comparison, the western, northern, southern, if you in their comparison, eastern has lesser industries, but it is also having good amount of thermal resources. So there are good number of thermal generating stations. The northeastern, it is basically, less developed area. So the primary source is hydro generation. There are less amount of coal available, but there are huge hydro potential is there. Some amount of hydro generation also there. So their maximum demand is 3 gigawatt, minimum is 1 gigawatt, average 2 gigawatt. Eastern region maximum 22 gigawatt, minimum 15 gigawatt, average 18 gigawatt. Southern region 48, 35 and 38. So 48 gigawatt maximum, minimum 35, average 38. And the western is maximum 62, minimum 45, average 55. And the northern 65, 40, 50. So peak demand of India, this is very important to know. As a whole, the peak demand of India is almost 200 gigawatt. The average is 160 and the lean is 140. So therefore, we are having some idea about the Indian grid situation. Now all these grids are connected to transmission lines. This is a transmission map. I am not going into details of that. This is not very interesting to you. But next is quite interesting, that all the grids I told that these are connected through good amount of transmission networks. So from northeast to north, there are transmission networks, which is like you see the line yellow. From our region, the blue line, eastern region to the northern region, there are connected networks. From this Odisha, which also belong to the eastern region, to the northern region, Rajasthan, there are transmission lines. So throughout India, there are transmission lines like that. Try to note this picture. This is quite interesting. I told you that the load areas in the northern region, in the western region, so they will eat more electricity. And the resources are in the eastern region. This is the pink arrows are eastern region. And this central region, this is known as a 765 kV bus bar. So from the generation, they are trying to feed. This bus bar is also a part of our grid. So they are trying to feed the grid, and from the grid, the blue lines, they are trying to feed the load areas. As a whole, the balance, there are grid and the generation of the grid and distribution of power to the grid, this remains balanced. Presently, we are also planning to have 175 gigawatt of renewable generation. For that renewable generation, the government of India has made a separate plan of making a separate distribution, a transmission network. They do not to make the renewable power directly connected to the grid. It will surely be connected to the grid, but since the regional renewable power has got fluctuations, intermittency, so they do not want to spoil the primary network by mixing all these renewables into the main grid. They want to put it in a separate way. That is the object. So this is the direction of flow. What it says that the power surplus areas are filling the power deficit areas. The power deficit areas are the northern, western, where more industries are there and where more generations are there, they are power surplus areas. So this is basically giving you an idea of the grid. Now, I will ask you a question that why we are presently interested in energy conversion studies. What is your idea? Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Why we are interested in this energy conversion studies?
Because sir, our conventional energy source like coal and the fuels are getting to end. That's why we are trying to convert some energy to other, like solar. I think so that.
I do not know you. I cannot see your name. May I know who are you?
So my name is Santanu Bag.
Yes, Santanu. You are right, but you are not fully right. You are partly right. I am telling you the other part. You see, so long we have been working on energy primarily based on thermal power, right? And if you think that the position of India, where it stands in thermal generation, it is basically, one third of its capacity of the world capacity in our generation. And the installed capacity is presently 384 gigawatt, out of which almost 70% is our thermal generation till date. So almost we are generating close to 260, 270 gigawatt in thermal. We are positioned fifth in the world in thermal, in coal resources. So we could have gone, and thermal is an established generating process. So as we are developing, we do not have much extra economy to go by for research and development. So for a stabler growth, we could have dependent on thermal for a pretty longer time. Although I appreciate that coal is basically, coming to its end, but in our case, if you are to judge between our economic strength and the source of generation, then we could have survived with coal for another 20, 30 years. But the threat is not only shortage of coal, the threat is environment. Today, the environment is not at all congenial for thermal generation. The thermal generation, all you know, is releasing huge quantum of carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas, and this greenhouse gas is responsible for making the world warmer. So the objective of our objective or the to for sustainability of the world, the target is to keep the temperature rise within 1.5 degrees centigrade of what of that of pre-industrial period. And the rate of global warming is such that if we do not take necessary control of this release of carbon dioxide or any greenhouse gases, the temperature at the end of the century will be more than 3 to 4 degrees centigrade instead of 1.5 degrees centigrade. And if 4 degrees centigrade temperature rises, the human race and many of the flora and fauna will be completely extinct from this world. There will be no, there is a possibility of total devastation of the world and of the green uh, planet because of many reasons. The climates are changing, the cultivation, the crop pattern are changing. Many of the races, many of the species, what you could see in your book are not available today, and they will be, vanished very, very soon because there will be no biodiversity. The entire, human life cycle will be in a quite jeopardized situation. That's why to keep the human civilization on, it is our primary objective to restrict thermal generation and to augment green power generations. That's why the government has taken a target of generating 175 gigawatt power in 2022 and another adding 100 gigawatt by next 5 years, that is 2027. The government is working very seriously. Now I will talk up you about our India's energy challenge. First energy challenge, you know, that we have to reduce thermal generation. Another challenge is that we are a growing economy. We need to grow. We need to give more electricity to people for industrial growth, for economic development. Presently, our per capita energy requirement is 1208. But we want to grow more, and suppose we are targeting that, okay, in the next 5 years, from 1208 will be 1300. Since our population is say close to 140 crore, imagine for additional 140 crore, if you increase say 100 unit, how much power you will require additionally in your system. Our target is to restrict to thermal generation. So you need to have more renewable impregnation in the system. But renewable has got its own problem. So we are now, getting crippled with a lot of challenges. We need to grow more. We need to have more energy. That more energy cannot be taken, cannot be retrieved from thermal resources. So you have to bank on solar, wind, or other renewables, say hydro, say small hydro, say biofuel, whatever be that. Even then, particularly the big chunks, solar and wind, they are having their own limitations. In a day, more than 12 hours solar you cannot get. So again, for even that for 12 hours, sometime you are getting maximum, say for 1 to 2 hours, you are getting maximum, and rest of the period, it takes more or less a sinusoidal curve. It goes on rising, it flattens at the top, again starts falling in the advent of when the solar rays becomes oblique. The solar curve is not sufficient. So that's why we call, when we take solar, we say 5 kilowatt peak. Because at peak period, it can generate 5 kilowatt. Otherwise, you can get 1 kilowatt, you can get 2 kilowatt. That's why the solar efficiency, what we call CUF, capacity utilization factor of solar, is very less, like 18% to 22%. So in our challenge, it comes to use more efficient solar energy so that the capacity utilization factor for these 12 hours of its availability time becomes more. If you can make it 22%, 23%, at least some more energy can be harnessed from the solar resources. The same comes with wind energy. The wind energy capacity utilization factor or plant load factor, whatever you say, it is around 20%. So we need to have more wind energy in our system. That is also another challenge. That's why we are thinking of, increasing its mast height so that more wind comes, more speed comes, more efficiency can be developed. That is the activities and decisions, and engineers are working on that. This is another challenge. India's INDC. What is INDC? Intended National Declared Commitment. What is that? In the last Paris Convention, where in the where the COP21, we call COP means Confederation of Parties, where all the global leaders visited. It happened. It took place in France, in Paris, in 2015, where our Prime Minister also understood the problem, which is not crippling India, but covering the entire world. No one is uh, spared, irrespective of their rich or poor. Because of global warming, every person, every country will be affected. So it is not an individual problem, it's a global phenomena. So to give a share, to share the globe's problem, the world's problem, our Prime Minister also committed that India will reduce its greenhouse gas emission by 40%, by 2035. And that is the initiation of implementing 175 gigawatt renewable power. So the power conversion, what we are studying right now, it is also been initiated with the commitment towards the world by our government, and also to put our effort on to save the world from the ensuing debacle, ensuing possibility of destroy. That if we can produce more more green energy, if we can reduce the greenhouse gases, at least that will be the part of India's contribution to save the world. So we are right now approaching towards 175 gigawatt, out of which presently we have made 100 gigawatt renewable till date. So that is our INDC, intended nationally determined commitment. The intended nationally declared commitments, INDC. Another thing is that our energy challenge, that we are importing heavily fuels. We do not have much of fuel in our own country. We are importing from OPEC, we are importing from other countries. And a huge amount of foreign exchange is lost for this fuel. So if there is a possibility of reduction, where also that energy conversion is giving us a new look, that is we know as electric vehicles, where lithium ion operated batteries. Earlier it was used by petrols, diesels. These are replaced by, in electric vehicle, lithium batteries. Why lithium battery? Because the battery has got much more capacity of holding the charges. We call it charge density. And these are done by electrical charges. Now one thing keep in mind, that if the batteries are charged by again thermal power, then we are not doing good for the society or the environment. We must keep focused that these batteries are positively gets charged through the solar power. So the solar energies. The solar energy, which is impinges the solar power on these solar panels, which are basically the solar diodes. These will generate some electric voltage, which will be converted to current, and this current will go to directly the battery cells for its charging. So there will be again energy conversion from this light energy to electricity and ultimately to chemical energy and it getting stored. And when this chemical energy will further get released, in the process of energy conversion, there will be losses. But we don't mind that losses because we are not buying uh, electricity, we are not buying. Still, the nature is allowing us to draw free light from the resources. So even if there is some percentage of energy conversion losses, it is not affecting us. So this amount of power we are going to utilize through electric vehicles. And that is, hello,
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a question actually.
please.
Sir, you said earlier that if we take account only the solar renewable energy, then you said earlier that in a day 1 or 2 hours we get the peak power. So if we are only planning to deliver the power by renewable energy, then in industrial system, if the industrial load demand is going to its peak, but the solar peak energy is a uh, it can be in a specific time of a day. I mean, it can be synchronized by the industrial load demand. I mean, say suppose the industrial load demand is a peak at 5 to 6 p.m. and the solar energy peak generation is at 12 to 1 p.m. Then how can we be delivering the peak load in industrial or any kind of load by renewable energy?
Uh, I think Sugato you are not.
Yes, sir.
Sugato, you are absolutely right. That is another malady in using solar system. So what we do, we mix solar power with the available resources. Now what it happens that suppose the thermal power which has got a very good reliability. If you want thermal power, if there is a 100 megawatt generating unit, you can reduce the generating unit to the capacity of 50% of its limit. That is, you can reduce it to 50 also. Below 50, it becomes very inefficient and unstable. So that we called minimum technical limit, MTL. So up to MTL, you can reduce, again you can increase. So day period, what we do, we keep the solar on as much as possible we take from solar. And there are, a large number of solar plants and each and every solar plants of a particular geographical area follow the same geographical or the same insolent, get the same solar insolent. So what happens, they follow the same curve. That means from say 12 to 2 p.m. they give the maximum, and before that they are gradually increased to the maximum value, and after that they gradually decreased to zero value till the sun sets. So you cannot fully dependent on solar. Only thing what happens that if you add this solar power in your grid, it can reduce that much amount of thermal generation, and you can get that much amount of reduced carbon dioxide or greenhouse gas release. So what we are planning, that 175 gigawatt out of which there are 100 gigawatt solar generation in our system, we are converting this system, I mean the peak value, to its unit value. That is how much unit means unit of electricity, how much unit of energy we are getting in a day from a solar system. So we are reducing that much unit of energy from the thermal generation, or that much energy of unit thermal generation could have produced that much amount of CO2. So that much amount of CO2 is getting reduced. Only solar it cannot be used. You have to use it some other. That's why we call blending of power. You get my answer?
Yes, understood.
Thank you. But today, I think time is up. So another two things I will tell. India is dependent on oil imports, so we need to reduce oil import. India is yet to achieve universal electricity access. So that is more or less we have reached. We have been allowed to give electricity to every domestic or industrial or commercial consumers. But one point of concern is that we have only given electricity, but still there are, quality issues are there. We are unable to maintain the quality. That is a point we need to consider, and we have to bother. Right? Any questions? Any question you have?
No, sir.
Okay, next day when I am supposed to come?
Sir, Monday?
Monday.
Yes, sir.
At what time?
6:30, I think so. I mean, previous day we have a class on 6:30, so 6:30 will be okay, sir.
Okay, 6:30 Monday.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, I have a objection over the time.
Tell
Actually,
me,
we have a class passing at the same time.
Devanshu,
হ্যাঁ স্যার
কি হয়েছে তোমার প্রবলেম বলো ভাই?
স্যার আমাদের সিগন্যাল ক্লাস থাকে 6:30 থেকে সেম টাইমে। আগের দিন ক্লাস করলাম তখন ওই 8 ঘন্টার একটা গ্যাপ ছিল।
ও বাবা, একটু মিস হয়ে গেছে, তাহলে কি করা যায়? তোমরা একটা কাজ করো, তুমি অফলাইনে সুগতর সঙ্গে কথা বলে একটা টাইম করে ফেলো, আর নাইলে আমার শিডিউলে কি আছে সেটা একটু সুগত দেখে নাও তো।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, আপনার মনে হয় 1টা থেকে আছে দুপুরবেলা।
সোমবার?
মানডে আমরা একটা
হ্যাঁ স্যার, মানডে আপনার 1টা থেকে, মানে শিডিউল ক্লাস হচ্ছে 1টা থেকে।
তাহলে মানডে আমি দুপুর 1টা থেকে নিয়ে নিই না, সেটা তো ভালো হয়।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, সেটাই কিছু।
মানডে স্যার শিডিউল ক্লাস নিলে স্যার অনেকগুলো আমাদের ওই টাইমে আবার ক্লাস থাকে।
তাহলে
ওই টাইমে অন্য
তাহলে স্যার আমি বলি কি, মানে যে কনসার্ন টিচার আছে তা ওনাকে যদি বলা হয় যে ওটা শিডিউল ক্লাস আছে আপনার, তাহলে উনি আই গেস চেঞ্জ করে নিতে পারেন।
শান্তনু, তাহলে এখন সুগতর সঙ্গে কথা বলে যেটা বলছে ভালোই তো।
ঠিক আছে, আমরা ডিসকাস করে আপনাকে জানিয়ে দেবো।
ঠিক আছে, আমি মানডে দুপুরের জন্য তৈরি হচ্ছি।
ওকে স্যার, আমরা ডিসকাস, যদি কোনো অসুবিধা হয় তাহলে আমি স্যার আবার কন্ট্যাক্ট করব।
ওকে ভাই।
ওকে স্যার,
থ্যাংক
থ্যাংক
ইউ।
ইউ থ্যাংক ইউ।
আর একটা কথা, তোমাদের কাউকে তো ঢুকতে পারছি না, এমনি ক্লাসে বোর হচ্ছে?
না স্যার, ভালো লাগছে।
ঠিক আছে, থ্যাংক ইউ।
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।